4, 3, 2, 1. Happy Sunday. Welcome back. We're on episode 6. What a crazy last 8 days of fighting.
So it's been a lot.
We're coming down from our Art of War high, and we're back in the reality of other promotions, which aren't quite as exciting. Well, up for debate, I believe.
Yeah.
Unintentionally, and we're also getting a UFC Fight Night 140. So, lots to say, lots of things to see and talk about. Let's start out with the regional scene.
Yeah, man.
You had a busy day yesterday.
Oh my God, I'm fried. Started out my day waking up at 4 a.m., working from 5 to 11:30, going straight from work to the gym to pick up Blaine and Christian, and then drive to Virginia to corner Lateesha for her Muay Thai title fight. It was a long day. Long day.
Muay Thai Lateesha, huh?
Yeah, man. She's 4-0.
Where was her fight at?
Down in Virginia at this big sportsplex. It was kind of like a knockoff Spooky Nook. They had like a little rock wall, a little field. It looked just like Spooky Nook, but
it was like Spooky Nook's like redheaded stepchild.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
the Virginia stepchild. Yeah.
So, what was the event all about? You know, she fought Muay Thai, but was it?
Yeah, it was like a mixed event. It was cool. I've fought on a couple shows like that. They had, it was in Virginia, so they had kickboxing, they had Muay Thai, they had MMA, they had a hot wing eating competition, all inside the cage. And the winner of that even got a championship belt.
Gut checks of all flavors.
Yeah, man. So it was an interesting event in Virginia for sure. Felt like the whole trailer park came in, and we're in attendance. You know,
everybody and their girlfriends / cousins attended.
yeah, something like that.
So, you know.
Oh man.
Tell me about leading up to the fight.
No. So of course they tell us the event's going to start at 6. Starts a little bit later. We're waiting around. Everybody's getting antsy, and then the show starts. And the very first fight, it's two guys about my size, maybe 170, 180, something like that. And they're in there. The fight starts. I pick up my phone and I'm like, make a Instagram
story.
Yeah, Instagram story, and I'm like recording it. And then they tie up and they start driving into the fence. I thought they were going to come out slugging because they were like banging their fists together, getting all hyped up. So I was like, oh man. And then they grab each other and they start just like, one dude just kind of double legs him, just driving to the fence. So I stopped the video. And then I look up and they never latched the cage door. And they went right through the cage door. And the whole place just starts screaming. And I'm sitting directly across from it. You know, they go out.
Screams of terror, probably not excitement.
Yeah, no. So the one guy got up and he had like a little bruise. That was it. The other guy was on the ground, his toes all curled up, and
so
it was scary, man. Left on a stretcher. It definitely was not the way you want the event to start.
No.
Yeah.
Also, if you're the promoter, it is not the way you want any event to unfold.
No.
Because that looks like a severe lawsuit in the making if that person decides to press charges, which, I mean,
I don't know, man.
There's no price on brain damage.
No.
At least until you press a lawsuit, then there is.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how the event started, and then there was a couple fights, MMA, kickboxing, then they had an intermission. Then after the intermission, they had a hot wing competition for a championship belt. So, man, it was
my God,
interesting. And actually, Lateesha's, I think it was her uncle. He won. So then, he won his belt, and then she had to go perform after.
Win her belt.
Yeah.
Now, how many wings did he eat? Did you catch the number?
No, I did not, because we were warming up as that was going on.
Yeah, you probably have other things to worry about.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, but yeah, she dominated, won all 5 rounds.
It was a 5-round fight.
5 twos.
Okay.
I think going into the third round, Lateesha sat down. I took her mouthpiece out, gave her a little water, and she goes, "This girl's gassing." And she wasn't even like huffing and puffing. She just looked at me and she's like, "This girl's gassed." And I'm like, all right, so let's keep pressuring her. Let's keep chopping her legs out. And yeah, man, she just tore up. Listened really well. Good. It was like playing a video game. It was awesome.
So she is now a Muay Thai champion in Virginia. Didn't kick her through the cage. Hopefully after the prior accident they latched it.
Yeah.
And good, all's well.
Awesome show.
Muay Thai in a cage. Probably feels pretty badass too.
It's pretty sweet. I've done it before, and it's definitely cool, man.
That's sweet. So, you get back from Virginia. I don't know what time, but there's some UFC Fight Night 140 happening in action.
Yeah.
And I'll be the first to admit that, I've heard of Ricardo Lamas mostly. I believe he fought, was it Chad Mendez in 2015, 2016. And after, I haven't watched many Ricardo Lamas fights afterwards, but that was a great fight. And then there was, I can't even say his name, but I'll try. Ponzinibbio.
Yeah.
Pretty close.
Yeah, that was it.
And then
pretty
Neil
sure.
Magny, and Neil Magny's a tall dude.
Dude, he is huge.
So that
Super
was
tall.
Those were the two main and co-main, and then we had one more that stood out, which I just want to give a mention. Johnny Walker could be one of the most badass fight names, and it was his first UFC fight. Now
it was his debut.
Fighter.
Yeah,
but
UFC debut. Yeah,
he took a elbow to Khalil Roundtree's dome and flattened him. And I thought that was, Khalil Roundtree's 5-fight win streak, 5-0 in the UFC.
He's coming off a big KO of Gokhan Saki. I know that.
And Gokhan Saki, talking about kickboxers,
savage, man.
Yeah,
but those little gloves,
they'll do something to you.
Or no gloves with the elbow,
Yeah.
There's no padding on that.
So, we have Johnny Walker, Black Label. I don't know how much of a whiskey fan you are, but
I'm not.
No, Johnny Walker's
not a drinker. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean I am. If you couldn't tell. So now Johnny Walker fan even more. I might have to go and get a celebratory bottle in his name. Because Conor McGregor has Proper 12 and Johnny Walker has his flagship brand. But with all that being said, I think it was a pretty good. I saw a lot of the highlights. I was too busy playing cowboy video games, Red Dead Redemption, to watch the new cowboy walk into the scene. But what do you think about? Start with Lamas. What's the scoop, man? What's your feedback on it?
I was real impressed, man. He had that bad KO loss, and then took some time off, and this was a big comeback fight. It was a big test, and man, those calf kicks, I hate those things, man. I got hit with one right at the beginning of my fight last week. I'm still feeling it.
Really?
Oh yeah, man. It's tough, and so yeah, he was just sitting on those calf kicks, and Lamas has some good stand-up, man, just picking them apart. And Elkins was on his back and just couldn't get up. When your calf is that destroyed, it makes it a lot harder to to grapple because you can't really put any pressure on it. And he couldn't really get up, and Lamas just finished him with that nasty ground and pound.
Yeah, so Elkins is out of Team Alpha Male.
Yeah,
and they're pretty notorious for using their own ground and pound.
Yeah, they're pretty tough camp.
Would you say that the calf kicks had a lot to do with his inability to, impose his ground game? Yeah,
because there's no real way to condition that nerve that's in your leg. So when you get kicked there, your leg just kind of immediately, you start to roll your ankle. It's the nerve.
Chicken dance.
Yeah, and it's like getting rocked to the head, except it's just to your leg and that nerve. But it happened. Mighty Mouse did it to Henry Cejudo at the beginning of the rematch.
Oh, yeah.
And they were just on Rogan's podcast a little while ago, and his coach was saying that when Michael Chandler fought and it happened to him, that he said that the doctors told him to ice the back of his knee, because even though the kick is down here on your outside of your calf, his coach knew that to ice the back of the knee, and then that's why Cejudo recovered so fast.
Okay.
So if anybody out there gets calf kicked, ice the back of your knee, and then for some reason it wakes that nerve back up. That's what the doctors told Michael Chandler. I was there for that fight at Madison Square Garden. It was gross, man.
Really?
He was just swinging for the fences, but his leg kept rolling out from eating a couple calf kicks. I had a real good view, man. I went with my buddy Tyler Triple.
That's right.
Yeah, man, it was a crazy, man. So calf kicks were the theme of the night, because then look at the main event with Neil Magny and Ponzinibbio. Magny's huge, good striker, and Ponzinibbio, man, those calf kicks.
Magny's what, 6'4", 6'3"?
Something like that, yeah.
At 170?
Yeah, 80-inch reach.
What
Crazy, man.
80-inch reach is like, I don't know.
My brother has 80-inch reach.
It's like a 7-foot tall person. He's long as the NBA almost.
Yeah. Good
Probably
at ankle
dunk.
picks.
Yeah, probably dunk too. It's not really a fighting move, but
Yeah.
ankle pick's more relatable, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good call. So Neil Magny, he was a terror at 155 for a
70.
bit. But did he ever fight at 55?
I don't think so.
Good, because he's 6'4" at 155. That's just disgusting. Why would he do that?
Yeah, he's been at 70 the whole time in the UFC. But Ponzinibbio's huge. I don't know if he fought a different weight before, but he's a thick old guy. Golden Snitch needs to go pay him a visit.
The Golden Snitch?
The USADA. Nowitzki, the Golden Snitch, as everybody calls him.
Got it.
Hey, man, don't you listen to any podcasts, man?
I listened to this one.
Ah, man.
It's a good one to
shout
listen
out.
to.
It's a good one to listen to. So the
Everyone
Golden.
else there
So
could
now,
also.
yeah, the Golden Snitch, Nowitzki. Yeah, he should go visit Ponzinibbio. Maybe, I don't know.
He's from Argentina,
I'm not sure.
Venezuela, a country where there's pretty much a caravan of migrants coming to our southern border.
Possibly.
Socialism exists and people are hungry. You don't look that beefy with massive starvation. And I mean, this is not to be insulting. This is geopolitics, people, and get it with your news. There's something in the water, is what we're trying to say. And it's not
Pretty jacked.
Yeah, he's pretty jacked.
So
No disrespect.
he chopped him down with the calf kicks, and then he landed that. I showed you the highlight when I got here. He landed that right hand and just face plant KO'd Neil Magny.
That was nasty.
Third.
Those calf kicks were nasty. He was doing the chicken dance on one leg, hopping
Yeah.
on one foot, looking like, Karate Kid, what was that? Yeah, Karate Kid Sweep the Leg?
The jumping crane kick or something like that.
He just didn't do a jumping crane kick because his leg was broken from calf kick.
He was just
but it
hopping.
looked like it faked it. He did the fake jumping crane kick.
Maybe. It didn't really work. But
No.
Yeah.
It worked all.
I wouldn't advise doing that. I actually did that in my last kickboxing fight, and the dude just cracked me right in the face. I was having a little too much fun. I did the crane, and then he just freaking decked me, and I was like, oh, man, I'm such an idiot.
Well, you got style points.
Yeah, I guess. I
mean,
could always have that cool highlight, I guess. Idiot.
So, why am I like this? So, Ponzinibbio, he wins. Lamas, he wins. I don't necessarily think any of them are title contention yet. I think that Johnny Walker's, putting a name out for himself.
Yeah, big debut.
But, speaking of Neil Magny, did he ever fight Diaz's brother, Nate Diaz? I just have Diaz in the mind because I'm thinking about Jorge Masvidal versus Nick Diaz. And Nick Diaz is finally welcoming himself back to the square circle.
Yeah.
Which is not at all what a cage is. It's like an 8 sides.
Yeah, I'm no...
No, I'm not a geometrist.
I'm no geometrist.
No. Or a geologist.
None of them.
None of those things. I'm a podcaster. But Nick Diaz versus Jorge Masvidal.
That's the rumor, man. I
I
hope it's true.
I was out on the street earlier.
I hope it's true.
Heard it there. What do you think about that?
I think Masvidal's a better, younger version of Nick Diaz. I'm a huge Nick Diaz fan. I like Nick Diaz way more than I like Nate Diaz, and I really like Nate Diaz too, man. I grew up watching these guys. They were, when I really was getting into the UFC, those were the guys I was always looking at. Mm-hmm. But Masvidal, man, he's a beast, and he's a veteran just like those guys, but he's better than those guys. I think that's a bad fight for Nick Diaz. I think if that's a fight he comes back for, I mean, it's a legit fight. It's a good scrap. I'd be so excited for it. But I think Masvidal KOs him.
My question to you is, when was the last time Nick Diaz stepped into the UFC octagon?
It was his fight with Anderson Silva, yeah.
In what year?
Oh, man, I don't know.
It was like
Probably 4 years ago.
200.
No.
Yeah, it was. Because Silva, after he fought Nick Diaz, didn't he fight Daniel Cormier?
Yeah, you're right.
So, it was like UFC like 190 something or other?
Yeah, it's been a while.
So, let's call it like 2015, if I had to guess.
We could agree with that.
Okay. So, Nick Diaz has been, for better or worse, self-medicating since then. So his health should be great. His health should be great. His tolerance for pain should be high. So should his constant state of being also being high. He runs, he bikes, he gets in domestic violence disputes with random females. And he wins.
I feel like every time I look at...
he wins those court cases.
I feel like every time I look at Nick Diaz's Instagram story, he's at a rave, smoking, or...
Pool party.
Or, pool party. Or he's like, I'm doing a triathlon. Yeah,
it's crazy. So I think that
he lives a wild life.
It's like a reverse Cowboy Cerrone life. Because when he chills hard.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is he's probably in great health. Jorge Masvidal, he's been in battles with... Tell me who he's been in battles with, because I don't want to make another factual error and do a wrong weight class.
He starched Cowboy Cerrone.
I was going to say Cowboy, good, confirmed.
Jake Ellenberger before that, he knocked him out too.
Lawler. Did he ever fight Robbie Lawler?
No.
Never once?
No, man.
Damn it.
It's alright, dude. And then he lost to Damian Maia and he lost to Wonderboy. He didn't look good in either of those fights at all.
But Damian Maia is a backpack and a boa constrictor.
And the whole time he was just on his back.
And Thompson, once he KO'd him, could have been doing some point sparring. I don't know.
Yeah, Thompson was doing a lot of sticking and moving. He fought really smart. It was a real good fight. It was the perfect way to beat Masvidal on the feet. You don't want to get engaged in the street fight.
Right.
Because Masvidal's a street fighter, but he's technical.
Where's Masvidal from?
Miami. Or Cuba, but Miami.
He reminds me of someone that would have been on those Kimbo Slice,
Miami-Dade
County.
Yeah, he was on that.
That's badass.
That's how he got pretty famous. But he's a legit MMA fighter, real good wrestling, underrated jiu-jitsu, really slick boxing. But he goes in there with that same Diaz style mentality. Like it's a fight.
I'm gonna die.
It's not a sporting event. It's not a competition. It's a fight. And that's why I'm a huge fan of him. I love how he fights. He's sick, man. But I think he just brings more tools to the table than what Nick Diaz has to offer. And he's way past his prime. Yeah. And Jorge arguably is in his prime right now. Or maybe a little bit past.
I wanted to give the edge to Nick Diaz because my empirical data and history was completely off on Jorge Masvidal. I thought Masvidal was in a couple wars recently and might have been, shaking off a little bit of drain damage. But what you're saying is, no, I'm wrong. And I'm okay if you're wrong.
Masvidal's, for the last, 12 or 16 weeks, has been on a reality show in Puerto Rico or Cuba or somewhere.
So you're saying
like a Telemundo, all Spanish reality show, because he was posting highlights every week on his Instagram, or somebody was. But it was strenuous, Spartan race type challenges and games and stuff like that. He didn't win the whole thing, but he got really far. And he said he's in crazy shape, and he hasn't been doing any fight training. Just it's like doing those Tough Mudder things every other day for 12 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, so he's like, I'm in crazy shape. And it was weird. It was on the show, he was saying that if you lost, you got less food, or you had to live in maybe a shack that leaks. So when you won, you got to move up, and the people who lost all moved down. It was really weird. I mean, I didn't watch it. I just listened to him talk about it on another podcast. But it was crazy.
Well, so he's in Spartan shape.
Yeah, he's in Spartan shape.
Nick Diaz is in Playboy shape. He's always in shape, but I guess with all being said, I hope the fight happens. It's good for both of them. The other fight I hope happens is the dude Cowboy fighting the other guy, Conor McGregor. Cowboy winning by arm lock, arm break over Platinum Mike Perry. Cowboy then becomes the most wins and most finishes in UFC history. Both.
Yep, 15 and 21 or 20.
What do you think about that?
I hope that fight happens, man. It almost happened already when who was it? Rafael dos Anjos pulled out against Conor, and then the rumor was it was going to be Conor versus Cerrone because 1 or 2 weeks prior, Cerrone fought the Brazilian Cowboy and finished him first round rear naked choke or
the
triangle.
The dominant Cowboy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so Cowboy got the call to fight Conor, and Cowboy said yeah. And I remember as soon as I heard that RDA pulled out with like a broken foot or something, I was looking at Cerrone's. It was either like his Instagram or his Snapchat, and he put like big news coming soon, and he was doing sprints. But like the day before that, he was like fishing or wakeboarding or something. So I was like, oh man, he got a short notice call, and I was like, oh my god, what if it's Conor? And then I guess it did. Then he said, guess he didn't want to fight me, and then he took on Nate because Nate was out in like Mexico on like a cruise ship or some shit, and he took it on short notice, and because Conor thought it was an easier fight, but it backfired.
In 2016, this was March of 2016.
Yeah.
2016, Cerrone was on like a huge winning streak too.
Yeah. Or no, that was his one. I think he was on a 1-fight win streak because that was his first fight. It was his first fight at 170. But he broke a losing streak.
So for everyone out there that doesn't know,
it's all good.
We really needed Jamie.
No, it's all good, man.
Fact checks.
Cerrone is one of my all-time favorite fighters, if not my favorite fighter.
Yeah.
So like I know his career, dating all the way back to the Tap Out reality show.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm pretty good on Cerrone facts.
Well, for the record, I'm intentionally getting these things wrong so you can correct me and show off your MMA trivia brain.
Makes me look pretty good.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that Conor versus Cerrone is good for both because Conor, he's 1-3 in his last 4 competitions. He's lost to Diaz, Mayweather, which is an MMA, but we'll call it a competition, and Habib, and he's also beaten Diaz.
He beat Diaz.
Okay, good. So I'm right. That's his last 4 fights.
Beat Eddie Alvarez.
Yep.
Lost to Mayweather. Lost to Khabib.
Damn it. So he beat Alvarez. That's the one. Okay.
It's okay.
So Conor's not doing so hot with his record so lately. He needs a win. Just for him. He wants to fight Habib
I don't think
again.
he cares. He just wants to get paid. He wants to win, but
if he wants to fight Habib again, great. You want some for pride? Okay, great. You're ready for that. But what happens if the same thing happens twice? Then what do you do?
Yeah.
Come on, man. Fight Cowboy.
That'd be sick, man.
That would be the best. That's what people want. It's like Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Who you got if it
The Rock.
happens? You got Cowboy or Conor?
I don't know. I don't know.
I think Cowboy is way bigger. He can wrestle.
His
wrestling is so underrated. And
his
he's
jiu-jitsu's
a brown
amazing.
or black belt. I think he got his black belt in jiu-jitsu.
He's extremely good at jiu-jitsu.
And Conor, jiu-jitsu, not
But
so
the
nice.
thing that Cowboy, I think, does sometimes is he walks you down. He does the cowboy walk, and he does Muay Thai with his hands high, and he throws his straights, and he throws his head kicks. And Conor McGregor, if there's any one good thing he's really good at, it's counter-punching with the left hand.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I say that he's going to lose, then he wins. Every time I say he wins, he's going to lose. So it's like reverse psychology every time that he fights.
Mm-hmm.
So if I say he's going to win, and my heart of hearts actually want him to lose the Cowboy, I think Cowboy's going to lose. So I have to go on record saying that Conor's going to win so that he does in fact lose.
Mm.
If you followed that, I commend you. Because that was a lot.
I have Cerrone, round 1, rear naked choke.
That's a good bet because of McGregor's losses. Other than Mayweather, it's been a lot of rear naked chicks.
I think Cowboy
Joe
would
Duffy,
start real fast.
Nate Diaz, Habib.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And okay.
Factually accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Winning. So yeah, I would agree. I would say, Cerrone has a great chance of rear naked choking someone.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't know. There's not too many other rumors. We just got a confirmed fight with Funky Askren and Lawler. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, we'll keep you guys updated on the rumor mill and our feedback on it.
Yep.
You got anything else you hear about any other rumors or anything going on?
I believe there's a fight next week. UFC. Alistair Overeem's making his return, taking on undefeated Russian, making his UFC debut.
Okay.
And then Curtis Blades is fighting as well.
And Ngannou too.
Yep, fighting Ngannou in a rematch. So Curtis Blades and Ngannou, I think Blades submission or ground and pound.
Yep.
I think he's got a lot of confidence, and then I think Alistair gets the KO. He's been training with Blades, and I think they're pushing each other, and I think he's gonna KO the Russian.
Nice. I agree with both of those things.